You know that sinking feeling when your car breaks down or your insurance bill arrives and you have absolutely no idea how you're going to pay for it? Here's the brutal truth. These expenses aren't actually unexpected. They happen every single time, yet somehow they always catch us off guard and force us to reach for the credit card. This is exactly why you need sinking funds in your life, and I'm going to show you how they work in the next few minutes. A sinking fund is basically a savings account or category where you set aside small amounts of money regularly for expenses you know are coming but don't happen every month. Think about it. Your car insurance might be due twice a year. Christmas happens every single December. Your car will need new tires eventually. These aren't surprises, but we treat them like financial emergencies because we haven't planned for them. Here's how sinking funds actually work. Let's say your car insurance costs $1,200 and it's due every 6 months. Instead of scrambling to find $1,200 twice a year, you divide that by 6 and save $200 every single month in your car insurance sinking fund. When that bill arrives, the money is already sitting there waiting. You just pay it and move on with your life. No stress, no credit card debt, no panic. The beauty of this system is that you can create sinking funds for literally anything. Car repairs, home maintenance, medical expenses, gifts, vacations, annual subscriptions, pet care, clothing, whatever costs money but doesn't happen every month. Most people have between 5 and 10 sinking funds running at the same time. Now let me walk you through setting this up step by step. First, make a list of all those irregular expenses that hit you throughout the year. Go through your bank statements from the past 12 months and write down everything that wasn't a regular monthly bill. That Amazon Prime renewal, your kids' back-to-school supplies, holiday gifts, oil changes, everything. Second, estimate how much each of these things costs annually. Be honest and even round up a little. It's better to have too much saved than not enough. Third, divide each annual cost by 12 to figure out your monthly contribution to each sinking fund. If you get paid bi-weekly, you can divide by 26 instead and fund them with each paycheck. Fourth, decide where you're actually going to keep this money. Some people use a high-yield savings account and track the categories in a spreadsheet. Others use multiple savings accounts, one for each fund. Some people still use the cash envelope system. There's no wrong answer here, just whatever method you'll actually stick with. Fifth, automate the transfers if possible. Set up automatic transfers to move money into your sinking funds the same day you get paid. This removes the temptation to spend that money on something else. Treat these transfers like bills you have to pay. Now here's what most people get wrong about sinking funds. They try to fund everything all at once and get overwhelmed. If you've never done this before, start with just 2 or 3 sinking funds for your biggest pain points. Maybe that's car expenses and Christmas gifts. Fund those consistently for a few months, and once it becomes a habit, add more categories. Another mistake is giving up when you have to actually use the money. Some people feel like they're failing when they pull money out of a sinking fund, but that's literally the entire point. These funds are meant to be spent. You're not trying to hoard this money forever. You're creating a buffer so irregular expenses don't destroy your regular budget. The psychological shift this creates is incredible. Instead of feeling like you're constantly being ambushed by expenses, you start to feel in control. That insurance bill that used to ruin your month becomes just another item on your to-do list. You pay it and forget about it because the money was already allocated. Let me give you a real example of how powerful this is. Imagine it's December and you need to buy gifts for your family. Without a sinking fund, you're probably putting everything on a credit card and telling yourself you'll pay it off later. Except you probably won't. And now you're paying interest on those gifts well into the next year. With a sinking fund, you've been setting aside maybe $150 a month since January. By December, you have $1,800 sitting there ready to go. You buy the gifts with cash or your debit card, enjoy the holidays, and start the new year without a single dollar of gift debt. Same expenses, completely different financial outcome. The amount you need to save in sinking funds will be different for everyone, but a good starting point is to aim for 10 to 15% of your income going toward these irregular expenses. That might sound like a lot, but remember, you're already spending this money. You're just spending it in a chaotic, stressful way right now. Sinking funds simply reorganize the same spending into a calmer, more intentional system. One advanced tip is to build your sinking funds during your low-expense months to prepare for your high-expense months. If you know December is always expensive, try to contribute extra to your sinking funds between January and November. This seasonal approach can make everything much more manageable. You can also use sinking funds for fun stuff, not just obligations. Want to take a vacation? Create a vacation sinking fund and contribute to it monthly. By the time you're ready to book that trip, the money is there, and you can actually enjoy yourself instead of worrying about the credit card bill waiting for you at home. The difference between people who feel financially stable and people who feel constantly stressed often comes down to this one strategy. It's not that stable people make more money. It's that they've stopped letting irregular expenses catch them off guard. They've created a system that matches their savings behavior to their actual spending patterns. Start today by identifying just one expense that always seems to blindside you. Calculate how much you need to save monthly for it. Set up a separate savings category or account. Automate a transfer. Do this for one expense, then add another next month. Within 6 months, you'll wonder how you ever lived without sinking funds. This is the budgeting hack that nobody talks about but everyone needs. Stop letting predictable expenses feel like emergencies. Take control, create your sinking funds, and finally break free from that cycle of financial panic.